Float debuted at Bewley's at the Dublin Fringe last year, and we are now going to Assembly Roxy outside this year for this year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Float is about 4 friends who live in Belfast who go to uni together, and they are having a house party one night and one of them is assaulted at the party. Float explores the strength of female friendships and the power it has to overcome all. We are so excited to bring Float to Edinburgh Fringe this year. It means the world to debut our work on such a massive international platform. We hope to connect audiences globally and, grow our name as Crybaby Productions and introduce our work to people who would never come to Northern Ireland to see work, and to meet new people and see work that we would also never get to see in Northern Ireland. Going to a global international festival like this is incredibly exciting and we are buzzing. I just want to say a big thank you to Theatre and Dance NI, Niamh, Molly Rose, Sarah and the Arts Council of Northern Ireland through the National Lottery for supporting us in this opportunity to go to Edinburgh.
Well, Dealing in the Devil is the story of Alan, who is a recovering alcoholic, which sounds as if it's going to be very dour and down. But in actual fact, it's quite a funny show, quite a wise show. A show, I think, with universal appeal, because I think everybody either has had their own issues or knows someone that has issues. And, it's kind of worldwide. And the treatments worldwide are the same. And so Alan, as he progresses through the 1 hour show, he meets all kinds of people. He meets a therapist. He meets his very annoying brother and various other members from his family. He meets a barman who's extremely dodgy. He loses a girlfriend in the process of the whole thing, makes some new friends. And the story is all about, will he make it? Will he make it in the end? Will he come out the other side, redeemed and able to go forward? Or will he fall? So it's there's a bit of suspense in it as well, I think. Well, it's brilliant, absolutely fabulous, and Theatre and Dance and I have done such a great job in bringing us all together from Northern Ireland to do the showcase, and it's lovely. I hope we all go to each other's shows. Our show isn't specifically about Northern Ireland, although, as you probably gathered, I have a Northern Ireland accent, and we have references to Northern Ireland and so on in it. Ours is kind of more universal, but it's a terrific initiative, and we're really looking forward to it. First time Bright Umbrella has been in Edinburgh as well, and so we're dipping our toe in the water for the first time with the festival.
My show's called The Daughters of Róisín. So I wrote that show when I was studying feminist protest theatre at university, and I remember asking myself, what do I have to protest about as a young Irish woman? And you can imagine the list was as long as my arm. And I'm really interested in using a historical archive to create performance. And I kind of started digging through my own historical archive in my family, and we discovered my granda was adopted, and he was adopted in the 1930s. So he was born to Kathleen Barry, who had him when she was very young. She was unmarried, and you can imagine how she was treated by the church and state. So I decided that's what I wanted to protest about. So the Daughters of Róisín really, to me, is a rallying cry for the women of Ireland and babies who were illegally trafficked, taken from their families. And it's a rallying cry for women to stand up and say, we're not having this anymore, their voices can be heard. And yeah, I'm really passionate about it, and I'm so grateful to get to do it. To get to bring our work to the Edinburgh Fringe under our own production company is just the most incredible experience. And for me, I'm really, really lucky this year because I'm part of the Spotlight programme with Theatre and Dance NI, but I'm also being supported by the Edinburgh National Partnerships, which is in association with the Lyric Theatre and with the Pleasance Theatre Trust in Edinburgh. So having all of those incredible organisations support your work and stand behind your work is so special, never mind getting to perform at the biggest theatre festival in the world, so I'm pinching myself and I'm so excited, and it's really a dream come true to get to take my own work under my own company. So yeah, I'm delighted.
So Ante Beckett is a play written by Joel Smith. So he's from Oman, lives in Manorhamilton. I'm from Manorhamilton, I live in Fermanagh. So we've a border, a kind of cross-border feel going on. It's a play based on a lot of Beckett-type themes. and the character is a fetus. It's a fully formed fetus, and he is having an existential crisis about the world to come. So it's a comedy, used in a Beckettian way, but it also is has a very sensitive look at life, I think, as well. Well, first of all, it's very important, I think, to represent that the voice of the border region is heard in an international setting. It's also an opportunity to see fantastic theatre and to get our work critiqued by people outside of your own theatre bubble. Again, even in Northern Ireland or in the island of Ireland, it's a relatively small audience. So just to bring it to a kind of a different audience will be very interesting. And also, of course, just to perform. We spend a lot of time producing and sitting at our computers, and just the opportunity to get up on stage again is, and I love this character, he's a fantastic fella, so yeah.
So it's a biblical story, essentially. I play Simon Peter, who's a disciple of Jesus, and although it's very much a biblical tale, stories all from the Bible, I don't really see it as a religious show as such, because it focuses very much on the ordinary setting and the ordinary life of Peter, and how he went from a kind of hard work and rural fishing background to becoming an apostle for the early church. But he actually retains the personality that he initially had, and really it focuses on just the very human aspects and the emotions that he goes through. Well, I think going to Edinburgh in itself is just a really good opportunity for an artist. It's exposure to a new audience beyond the audiences that would usually see me at home. To a solo show as well. I mean, exposure doing a solo show, that's just brilliant anywhere, but Edinburgh especially. Also, the director chose to give Peter in this play an Ulster Scots accent. And my family background is actually largely Ulster Scots. So although I'm playing a character, there's something quite authentic about the fact that I'm putting myself out there with that kind of accent and tapping into that culture as well.
Lies Where It Falls tells the story of how the trauma from an act of violence upon my family when I was a child came back to haunt me some 40 years later when I played the part of Pat McGee, the Brighton bomber, and then subsequently the player King in Hamlet. The violence of both these roles tripped a switch in my head which threw me back and released the delayed trauma within. It is, however, a story of hope, and that if you can find empathy, even in the worst of conflicts, then healing can be done. It played with great success here in Northern Ireland, both critically and in its sales, hence why I'm so excited to be taking it to such a diverse and international audience at the Edinburgh Fringe. I am very grateful to the Arts Council of Northern Ireland for its help with its development, and now to Theatre and Dance NI, who will be supporting me out there in Edinburgh and helping me take this universal story to as big an audience as I can.